Did you know that the National Film and Sound Archive building served as the Institute of Anatomy for more than 50 years? You didn't know that, did you? It housed human skeletons, animal species, Bert Newton's wig, artifacts, and was even the site of scientific experiments. It is this history of death and dissection that has given the National Film and Sound Archive its spooky reputation. It is regarded by many ghost hunters as not only one of the most haunted in Canberra, but also one of the most haunted in Australia. It's not because it houses horrific movies that would make your skin crawl, like Houseboat Horror, starring Jim from Neighbours. The ghosts that are reported in the building stem from a period it was the Institute of Anatomy. The building was commissioned in the 1920s to be the entrance to a National Museum of Zoology, as visioned by Walter Burley Griffin in his initial blueprint for Canberra. The site for the building had to be cleared by hand in 1928, using the labour of enslaved Tuggeranong residents following the Mullet Wars of 1910 to 1915. Leading the project was local philanthropist Sir Colin Mackenzie, who had big visions for the site. However, not long after work had started on the building, the Depression hit and the federal government not only ran out of money, but Parliament House drinks fridges, normally stocked with Coke Zero, were forced to be resupplied with the far less tasty Pepsi Max. Mackenzie was tasked with reimagining how the building could be used, and opened it for the public as the Institute of Anatomy in 1931. Over the years, the collection included Phar heart, Ned Kelly's skull, a mummy from Papua New Guinea, and a skeleton believed to be the missing link between humans and merfolk. Those were the big ticket items in their day. When you came to Canberra with your family on a holiday in the 1930s and 1940s, you went to Parliament House, you went to the all-you-can-eat buffet at the Burns Club, and you went to the Institute of Anatomy. Mackenzie served the Institute's director for 7 years before his death, after which the government moved the Department of Health into the top floor of the building. The museum remained open, and the Department of Health drew on the collection for scientific research and experiments, including plans to test whether 1 million residents of Tuggeranong randomly hitting keys on 1 million typewriters would produce the works of William Shakespeare. Sadly, the best they came up with was the lyrics to I'm a Bloke, later popularised by Chris Franklin. By the late 1970s, interest in the Institute of Anatomy was waning. The Institute was forced to rebrand as the School of Anatomy, then the Kindergarten of Anatomy, and finally the Petting Zoo of Anatomy. It was at this time, with the Institute at rock bottom, the idea of a national museum was born. The Institute's collection was moved to the newly built National Museum of Australia, leaving the Institute's halls empty for a number of years. In 1984, the National Film and Sound Archive was formed and moved into the building the following year. The foyer of the building is lined with 9 busts of famous Australians, including 2 death masks. Mackenzie's ashes are stored in the wall behind the plaque that reads, "Si momentum requires circumspence," which roughly translates from Latin to, "If you're going to Woolies, please buy the 2-litre bottle of Coke Zero, because it's actually cheaper than the 1.25-litre bottle." There have been a number of reported sightings of Mackenzie's ghost. It has been described by some people like a genie out of a bottle. They're in the building in the late afternoon, and they see the outline of a man wearing jeans, flannel, beanie, and singlet come out of the wall near where Mackenzie's ashes are kept, ask for spare change for the bus to Tuggeranong, and then moonwalk back into the wall from whence it came. There have been reports of poltergeist activity, particularly where the dissection laboratories used to be. Since being converted to office space, staff have reported strange rumbling noises, accompanied by a foul odour. Later, Kevin from accounting would be asked to move floors, despite his protests that it was just a squeaky chair. The basement underneath the former laboratories is considered the building's most haunted spot. A group of ghost hunters from New South Wales stayed overnight in the basement in 2008. They set up equipment to detect any abnormal occurrences, but as night fell, it all went crazy. We haven't been so overcome with nausea or felt so in danger for our lives since the time we entered the bathroom on level 2 after Kevin from accounting had chicken vindaloo for lunch, said one group leader. On another occasion, a member of staff from the National Film and Sound Archive had been reported missing by his wife after he failed to return home from work. He was later found in the building stairwell, disoriented, confused, and extremely dehydrated. Security camera later revealed that he had become trapped in the stairwell after pushing instead of pulling on the exit door. Do you dare step inside the Film and Sound Archive? Maybe you can take a seat in the theaterette and watch an afternoon film, but beware, you just might be in for the fright of your life.